Hello aspirants, Faculty A here. Welcome to this rapid explainer on the Rungta IAS Academy channel. Today, we're tackling a massive, rapidly evolving internal security threat for your General Studies Paper 3, and that is digital arrests. You know, this really isn't just some fringe issue anymore, it's a highly coordinated assault on our digital borders. So let's dive straight in and see exactly how the government and tech intermediaries are dismantling this network, and most importantly, how you need to structure this for your mains.
To really grasp the extreme gravity of this threat, we actually don't need to look any further than the Honorable Supreme Court. In January, the bench led by Chief Justice D.Y. Chandrachud, with some very pointed remarks from Justice Surya Kant, actually took suo motu cognizance of this issue. They made it absolutely clear that these are not mere financial frauds. These fraudsters are convincingly dressing up as police and judicial officers, psychologically coercing victims to cough up huge sums to avert completely fictional arrests. In one truly chilling example, this psychological coercion was used against a 78-year-old woman lawyer. So, in the words of the court, this is an offense against human dignity itself, leaving victims with a blistering sense of violation.
Thank you, sir. Aspirants, Faculty BZ here. Now let's move on to the hard data you absolutely must cite in your mains answers. When we talk about the sheer scale of this cyber epidemic, the numbers are, quite frankly, staggering. The Home Ministry has clocked the approximate financial losses at a massive 30,000 crore rupees. This isn't just petty theft. This is a huge drain on our economy and a direct, formidable challenge to our internal security apparatus. And to put that incredible financial loss into perspective, we need to look at the volume of the attacks. This massive drain stems from over 2.41 lakh complaints related solely to digital arrest scams. So what does this tell us? It brilliantly illustrates that we're not just dealing with isolated, random incidents. This is an industrial-scale cybercrime operation targeting Indian citizens en masse.
Exactly, ma'am. And that brings up the big question. Where is this industrial-scale operation actually originating from? Well, this threat is heavily transnational. Documents placed recently before the Supreme Court reveal that platforms like WhatsApp focus their probes on bringing down the entire network of scamsters, and what they found is that these actors are mostly active out of Cambodia. For your GS3 paper, this perfectly highlights the critical challenge of transnational cybercrime networks operating from foreign jurisdictions to exploit our citizens.
Right, so how do we actually fight back against a threat like this? Industry stakeholders are aggressively deploying technological countermeasures. Artificial intelligence and machine learning systems are now acting essentially like digital bouncers, actively detecting impersonations of law enforcement agencies. These AI models are systematically tracking patterns, things like the misuse of official police logos and the deployment of synthetic content to send immediate warnings to users. It's a really prime example of leveraging emerging tech to secure our digital space.
Okay, aspirants, grab your pens and note down this institutional framework. It is absolutely crucial for any mains answer you write on cyberfraud. The response here is multi-stakeholder. Back in March, an interdepartmental committee was convened, chaired by the Special Secretary for Internal Security. Crucially, you have the Indian Cybercrime Coordination Center, or I4C, working under the Home Ministry, teaming up with major telecom service providers like Airtel, Jio, BSNL, and intermediaries like WhatsApp. The MHA strategy here is to treat initial warning signals not just as isolated reports, but as a seed to map out and eventually disrupt the entire criminal network.
Building on that framework, let's look at how this works operationally on the ground. Intermediaries like WhatsApp receive that seed input directly from government sources. They then use that to probe and map out the administrators behind the scams. The stakeholders have agreed to introduce mechanisms that can block specific device IDs used in these frauds. Just through this method alone, WhatsApp detected and banned up to 9,400 accounts directly linked to digital arrests. Furthermore, to really assist law enforcement, they've agreed to retain the data of deleted accounts for a minimum of 180 days.
Now let's add a really crucial piece of technical terminology to your arsenal, something discussed heavily with the telecom service providers: SIM binding. You definitely want to sprinkle this into your answers. Basically, it's a security measure that explicitly links a user's account with their physical SIM card. The main takeaway here is that it acts as a primary line of defense. It makes it incredibly difficult for these scam operators to execute SIM swapping or cloning to take over innocent people's accounts.
And of course, we must connect these technological interventions back to our statutory framework. WhatsApp has formally asserted it will comply with the Information Technology Rules of 2021. Specifically, we need to look at the provisions related to the identification and labeling of synthetically generated information, or SGI. Because these digital arrests rely so heavily on deepfakes and SGI during those fake video calls, enforcing the IT rules of 2021 is absolutely vital to stopping them. All right, let's pull the whole shebang together. Let's align all this fantastic source data directly with your GS Paper 3 syllabus subheadings. If a question touches on the institutional framework, you immediately cite I4C and the Interdepartmental Committee. For the role of intermediaries, hit them with the 9,400 account bans and the 18-day data retention policy. For tech countermeasures, bring up SIM binding and AI detection of SGI. And for the overall scope of the threat, you mention the 30,000 crore loss and the transnational Cambodian nexus. Consider this breakdown your ready-to-use template for a high-scoring mains answer.
To wrap up today's explainer, I want to leave you with a high-level challenge, specifically for your personality test or UPSC interview prep. We've talked a lot today about retaining data for 180 days, blocking specific device IDs, and deploying aggressive AI tracking. So the core dilemma you need to ponder is this. How can India effectively balance this incredibly aggressive cyber policing against digital arrests with a citizen's fundamental right to privacy? I want you to think critically about this intersection of internal security and digital rights because it is exactly the kind of nuance the interview board will want you to analyze. Keep studying hard, keep structuralizing your notes, and we will see you in the next explainer.